Alabama Prison Profiles. Alabama in the house. Shout out Alabama.
DC The Voice, Alabama Prisoner Profiles. What's going on with y'all today, man? I appreciate everybody checking in and all that. Make sure the 65% of y'all that don't subscribe to this shit but still watch it, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and run this shit up, because we on the road to 2K now, you dig what I'm saying? Today, I'm bringing y'all a requested profile. You dig what I'm talking? So, we're going to jump right into it on Mr. Vincent Jones. Now, I wanted to say the victim in this case is the one who originally reached out to me weeks back and asked me to check on a gentleman that was at Ventress Correctional Facility. So I reached out to my source there. He checked on him, said he's good, you know what I'm saying? He delivers trays or something, like he works a job or something like that every day. Clearly an older gentleman. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see, back in the 1980s is when he had his first sexual assault conviction, and I couldn't find anything else. I couldn't find anything about that. But I do have the victim's testimony that reached out, and I'm going to present that to y'all. Jurors are currently deliberating in the case of Vincent Bernard Jones, who is accused of raping a relative. Jones, 44, is charged with first-degree sodomy, first-degree sexual abuse, and incest, said Russell County District Attorney Kenneth Davis. Jones allegedly committed these acts several times over the 2007 summer. Jones has prior convictions of rape and forgery, Davis said. If convicted, he will be sentenced to life in prison without the chance of parole.
I met Vincent when I was 16. He was 42. He was bringing his nephew who rode the bus to see me. He stayed in the car while his nephew came inside to meet my parents. I remember walking his nephew out of the house and giving him a hug and hearing his uncle say that I was too much for him. Vincent got my number and started texting me, making promises and trying to convince me to be with him. He came to my house a few nights later, came to my window and took my screen off to see me in person. He asked me to do inappropriate things that I was really not comfortable with. The next day, I saw him at my school. We were getting checked out because of a threat. My mother picked me up and he was there to pick up his daughter, and I froze in place when I saw his face. I couldn't move. I was stuck. This was the man who was just at my window. I'm not sure how he convinced his daughter that it was okay for him to see me, but a week later we were skipping school together and she was okay with the arrangement of me being with her father. He would get a room for me and him while his daughter drove his car. It felt wrong. He would pin me down with his body weight each time. He wanted other girls to join me eventually, so a friend of ours joined us. He tried to make us do things together while his daughter sat in the car and we're at his house, but I refused and walked out to the car with his daughter. I wish I never left her. She came out of the house crying and told me what he had done. I ran back in full of anger and started breaking things inside the house. He tried to force himself on me again, telling me he knew what I wanted. I managed to get away, and I told him. He didn't believe me, not until I told someone at school. I was forced to leave the school because students hated me for getting pregnant by their friend's dad. He was the adult in this situation though. A few more weeks go by, and the police are at my door. By this time, I broke the news to my parents about my pregnancy, but they didn't know the details and by who until the police showed up to ask me questions about Vincent and his daughter's relationship. He was arrested and charged for sexual assault of her and our friend, as you can see by the charges. He was charged and now won't see the light of day, which he deserves. My son is now 15 and is looking into colleges he wants to attend. He's a great kid and I wouldn't change him for the world. I want to be very clear, I did ask my son if he was okay with me releasing this story, and he was more than okay with it.
So that's this young lady's account, y'all. Kudos to her and her son. Hope he know that boy need to go to Alabama. You know what the fuck going on, you know what I'm saying? Haha. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Little alma mater shout out there, you know what I'm saying? Sex offenders are not exempt from these profiles, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, this was requested. This man's probably not going to see the light of day again. That's not to say that he's not a human being and doesn't deserve shit like clean water, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, everything else prisoners are being deprived of within the Alabama Department of Corrections. You know what I'm saying? As some of y'all might know, when I very first started this, I got into a healthy back and forth with a prominent incarcerated advocate that, you know what I'm saying, had been featured in the Rolling Stone magazine. I'm going to try to say, who the fuck is that? You know what I'm saying? Look up the charges, and he got one of them cases, you know what I'm saying? But this man led me to see, you know what I'm saying, that I was doing the very same thing that he accused me of doing to somebody else, to him, and that's reducing a man to a charge. You know what I'm saying? Or a conviction. DC The Voice, Alabama Prisoner Profiles, out the gate.